Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance that was just released this year. It's a brand new one from the house of Tom Ford. We're talking about Tobacco Oud Intense. Now, Tobacco Oud Intense was released along with a couple of other fragrances. It is of the Intense line, so it is a little bit more expensive than Tom Ford's traditional fragrances. It comes in two main sizes, a 50 milliliter and a 250 milliliter. The 50 is going to run you $310, whereas the 250 milliliter is going to run you $804. So it is pretty expensive if you want to get the big jug. But to be perfectly honest with most Tom fragrances, they are so powerful that there is almost no reason to ever go above 50 milliliter. Usually 50 milliliter will last most people a lifetime. But that's just me. So, comments on the bottle. The bottle looks just like the other Tom Ford bottles and presentations. The major thing with this one is I actually liked the old ones because the gold I thought went along with the brown a little bit better. But this presentation is still pretty nice. Just not as good as the other one. Let's get on to the actual scent itself. Notes of the fragrance are listed on screen. What is the big takeaway here on this scent? Well, Tobacco Oud Intense. First off, it does not smell like tobacco oud. That's the very first thing. So with Tobacco Oud, you got, pretty much just that, oud and tobacco. Whereas this, tobacco note is far less prominent. There are three Tom Ford fragrances that this really reminds me of, and I will mention them in a second. When you spray this on, you're going to get an ambery type of a scent. It's like amber, this animalistic amber type of a scent with oud kind of mixed in coming through it. And a hint of like this raspberry-ish note that I kind of keep getting from time and time again. I don't get it all the time, but I get it sometimes. Now, it's very powerful, very strong, and it's something that you can easily go 1-2 sprays on, and this will waft and permeate. It'll last on your skin 9+ hours, and it will project like a monster. So which three fragrances from Tom Ford does this remind me of? The closest scent in Tom Ford to this. First, let's start with the first two, sorry. First one, Oud Wood. The way that Oud Wood does its oud, it's that smoothness, that really more animalistic oud. That's where Tobacco Oud Intense gets. It feels like that's where the oud is from. The raspberry note-ish type thing that I'm kind of getting from this scent, the overall aggressiveness, really feels like Tuscan leather. The way that Tuscan leather is on the skin, that's what it reminds me of. But if I'm to narrow it down to just one fragrance that this really smells like, it's the discontinued one from Tom Ford, Tom Ford Amber Absolute. Amber Absolute is a fragrance that, as you guys know, I used to have. I ended up selling it, but it was discontinued at this point. And Amber Oud to me is the closest. It really reminds me of it. It's an animalistic amber scent, really, at the end of the day. And it has a beautiful oud smell into it, and it's just aggressive, it's beautiful, and it's something that I really do like. I'm not too much of a fan of the Intense because I really do feel that this belongs as its own fragrance. I think they more did it just because they wanted to squeeze a little bit more money out of people and charge a little bit more. They can do what they want, but I don't really think it's warranted for it. I think if it was at the regular Tom Ford prices, it's still, up there. It's still up there, and, it is what it is. Anyways, spray-wise, I go anywhere between usually 1 and 2 sprays. That's enough for me. It's a very powerful fragrance, has extreme power on it. I think this is a good fragrance for the fall and the winter, especially for the fall for some reason. I really think that it really hits the fall perfectly. The occasion-wise, I would wear this more as an outgoing or outdoor fragrance, or a clubbing fragrance, or a night out fragrance. Basically in the scenarios where a strong fragrance will not elicit a reaction of, just like a negative reaction, that's where you can go ahead and pull this one off. I would not wear this one to the office. I don't think that it's appropriate for the office, and I would not wear it in sensitive situations like that. I may be tempted in upscale situations, but it really depends on you. Age group wise, I think this is a good fragrance for older gentlemen, people that are more mature in their right. I think this is definitely a fragrance that comes across as a compliment getting fragrance. This is one where you definitely have to try it on your skin. As with most Tom Ford fragrances, this mixes on your skin, and when it's on your skin, it is an absolute fantastic fragrance on most people's skin. But again, try it on your skin, see how it actually goes. Compliment wise, again, it's going to depend on your skin, but it is a compliment getter. So if I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating, I give this fragrance a rating 4 out of 5 stars. At the end of the day, I really do like this fragrance. One of the things that's keeping it down, though, from a higher rating, 4 out of 5 is still a great amount of stars. It's the price. At the end of the day, the price is still pretty high for Tom Ford fragrances. And if you can afford it, and if it's something that you're looking at, especially for a deep, darker fragrance, Tom Ford fragrances are really unique in that manner. I have always said that between the two, if I were to choose a warm weather and a cold weather house, it would be Creed and Tom Ford. Those two I could sit in my collection or just keep as a collection and use it in almost any scenario that I felt like choosing. But that's just me. It still hurts, as these prices keep going up and up and up and up. But that's just my take. The fragrance itself is a great fragrance. I think it's a little bit misleading though with the name Tobacco Oud Intense. Just because it really is not an intense version of the Tobacco Oud, or feels like an intense version. It really is its own fragrance. So that's essentially it. All right, so that's my opinion of it. At the end of the day, great fragrance, a little bit on the expensive and pricey side, so that knocks it down a little. Let me know what your thoughts are on this new fragrance, and let me know how you guys feel about it. All right, thank you guys, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.